It started like any other day. Coffee brewed. Doors opened. And then someone looked up. The sky wasn't stormy. It wasn't clear. It was a color no one had a name for. Close enough to normal to ignore. Different enough to feel wrong. In the minutes after sunrise, the change was imperceptible to the hurried eye. It was simply the wrong shade of blue. A subtle dissonance against the chrome and concrete of the morning commute. A person waiting for the bus might have frowned, wondering if their glasses needed cleaning or if the light bulb in their kitchen was dying. The atmosphere felt heavier, but without weight. The shift was slow, almost apologetic in its introduction, yet undeniable if one bothered to truly witness it. Most people didn't bother. They glanced up, shrugged off the feeling of alien light, and continued their routine, preferring the predictable safety of the ordinary. It was easy, at that point, to dismiss the observation, attributing the unsettling hue to pollution, the Weather Channel lying, or just a trick of tired eyes. By mid-morning, people stopped pretending. The subtle tint had deepened, settling into a permanent, unnerving hue like watching the world through tinted rose gold glass, but with the gold filtered out. Phones pointed upward. The collective recognition spread faster than any news bulletin. It was a silent, shared agreement that something fundamental had shifted. Construction workers lowered their tools. Office drones paused their scrolling. News anchors ran out of words, simply showing live feeds of the unnaturally saturated horizon. The sudden, total visibility of the phenomenon stripped away the possibility of denial. The sky didn't explain itself. It merely hung there, a massive, silent fact that rendered all other facts trivial. Crowds gathered in town squares, drawn not by an explosion or a tragedy, but by a shared, inexplicable marvel hanging overhead. Some people were afraid. Fear manifested as immediate, frantic calls to family members, or a sudden, tight knots in the stomach, driven by the instinct that the ceiling of the world had broken. Others felt strangely calm, as if this profound deviation from the norm was actually the truth they had been waiting for, all along a soothing, beautiful terror. Children asked questions that held impossible depths. Mommy, is that a giant bruise? Will the colors wash off? Older folks remembered things they couldn't explain. Fragmented myths and forgotten warnings about the deep, strange nature of existence. Denial was also a powerful reaction, with pockets of people refusing to look up, insisting loudly that the weather app still promised sunshine. Attempting to talk the world back into normalcy. All settled over many, a humbling recognition that the vast, indifferent universe had finally chosen to deliver a spectacle. Work paused. The relentless engine of commerce sputtered and stopped. Traffic slowed to a crawl. Not because of accidents, but because drivers simply felt compelled to pull over and stare at the new ceiling above them. The constant, ambient noise of modern life sirens, horns, notifications receded, replaced by a deep, communal, quiet. Strangers stood together, looking up, saying nothing. For once, there was no need for conversation. The sky had articulated everything. Production lines froze mid-assembly. Stock markets became meaningless screens of flashing numbers. The hierarchy of human concerns collapsed under the weight of the undeniable. Everyone was simply a resident of this suddenly unfamiliar planet, unified by the overwhelming, silent presence above. The world achieved a spontaneous, use centered around a shared uncertainty. The sky never went back. The color held, unwavering, settling into the new normal, shifting the light spectrum just enough to redefine shadow and substance forever. No scientist offered a satisfactory explanation, no government claimed responsibility, and no prophet offered a definitive warning. The cause remained unknown, yet the effect was total. And maybe that wasn't the point. Maybe it wasn't a warning, but an invitation to look up again.